Neil, a fairly complete performance today. You must be delighted with that, given particularly that you made so many changes to your lineup.
Yeah, we did. I mean, I'll be honest with you. We had Andy Robbo on the bench, who probably wasn't fit enough to go on. We had Jordan Thornley on the bench, who wasn't fit enough to go on. So we're basically down to 13 players. But I've said all along, we've got a great group of players here, squad-wise. People are forgetting. That's Ab's first game for us, full game this season. And people have got to. It's going to take time, but I've said all along, we've got the players here. We've just got to get them on the pitch, and we've talked about the suspensions, but I think you can see today the character of the team. These are flying. Gainsborough, they beat Boston last week, they beat Gloucester. These are flying. They've got a good side, but our lads have stood up to it. And as you say, we've made a lot of changes, but I've got confidence in everybody.
Let's talk about changes in particular. One at the top end.
Yeah.
We've been asking where the goals are coming from. Is it a player who's been under your nose all this time in Micah Evans? Is that where the goals are coming from? It did today.
Yeah, he scored a good goal. He's got in some good positions as well. People keep crying out about a goal scorer. Yeah, but you've got to create chances first. Yeah. And we've worked hard this week in getting into wide areas in the final third and delivering balls in the box. Yeah. And if you look today, particularly as the game gone on, and the goal in particular, we've delivered the ball in the box, we've scored. Kay's had a few opportunities which are flat pass, one's gone over the bar. But yeah, we'd all want our 30 goal striker. We all want them. But they cost a lot of money. People throw names at me, but without massive transfer fees, massive wages, it's not possible to do. But you've got to have faith in the players that you've got at the football club. But what we've got to do, we were talking about it on the bench before we scored. You've got to give them opportunities to miss chances. We've bossed the game in a large part, particularly first 25 minutes. We haven't created a great deal because we haven't had people running beyond the strikers. We haven't got into wide areas and delivered balls. It's more about that than the actual finishing I'm concerned about. And we've done it today. We've worked hard. You see the goal. Gareth Roberts has got in a wide position. I think you could see second half. We've asked our fullbacks to push on 20 yards higher up the pitch. Danny Morton's now playing. Game, and when you get that, then we will create chances and the boys will score goals.
And you've got to feel sorry for Big K. He could have had a hat-trick in 5 minutes in the second half.
I thought he was absolutely outstanding. For the team, people talk about goals, and strikers are judged by goals. But you look at what he brings to the team. His hold-up play, he's winning his headers, he's working hard. And I know the boys, particularly the boys on the bench, who was, we're all saying how fantastic he'd done for the team today. And yet he could have had a hat-trick, but on another day. But we've come here, we don't score many goals more than one. But this is a tough league. It's a very tough league. I'm just made up that the boys have stuck together, stuck in there. We've brought Wade in. I thought didn't see much of him because he's around and he's doing all the horrible bits. I thought Lewis Montrose was probably his best game.
Outstanding,
best game he's played for the football club, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's coming together slowly. Defensively, I haven't got a bad word to say about any of them. And young Ian in goal.
Well, let's talk about young Ian in goal. I know when you re-signed him, brought him back to Edgeley Park, you were pleased to make that acquisition. You've got him in the side today. Tell us about the thought process, about the decision that you've made today to recall him.
It's a difficult decision, a very difficult decision, and people can talk, people say it's brave, but as a manager you've got to make the decisions that you think right at the time. It's no slight on Danny Hurst. Danny, I'd go as far as saying, in terms of a shot stopper, he's probably one of the best, if not one of the best I've seen in non-league football. One-on-ones and saves to make. But I would like to think that we don't have as many saves to make. And I'm just a little bit more on, Ian's a bit off his line a little bit more, and that might be down to a change in defence. And I just had a thing today where Ian's distribution for me is fantastic. It's probably as good as where Danny is as good as you'll see in terms of shot stopper and general saves. Ian's distribution is fantastic, and I just thought the last few weeks in particular, when we've been trying to set plays, goal kicks onto Kay, you've seen today how many times we've got in the final third from playing that way. And I just think that it stops us being under the cosh a little bit more. But so difficult decision when you've got two good goalkeepers. We've got so many strengths and very little weaknesses. Danny will be disappointed. I know he is very disappointed. But I've got to make the decisions that I believe are right. at that time. And who says it's, the only way I'll be proved right is by putting them in. And if Ian would have made a Rick or they would have scored, it wouldn't have made any difference, because I thought his overall performance was fantastic. And Danny Hirst yourselves, he's a top professional, and he's right behind Ian, like I would expect.
Well, Ian made a terrific save late on in the game, albeit he looked to be offside, Darren Stamp, but they was allowed to go on. But it all came from a very strange incident when Ian, whether he didn't count to 7, I've never seen a free kick given for holding onto the ball for too long.
I think the last time they were given was about 3 years ago when the rule first came out, and then it stopped after about 3 months, and then nobody, I don't know what happened. I thought the referee was outstanding, and then with 25 minutes to go, I don't know what happened to him, because he started giving free kicks, and to give that, I mean, if you go back to the second half early on when it was 0-0,
yeah,
their goalkeeper down here,
yeah,
Lutzi's got the ball in his hands, and Kay stood on him, he hasn't kicked the ball, but because it's 1-0 to us, suddenly it's an issue. We've come away 1-0, but again, if that would have made a difference, to the game, and as you say, Stampy's come. I think Stampy came from behind them houses to Eddie. You know what I mean? And it's just bizarre what happened in the last 20 minutes, because we never got a decision, and then you get that absolute bizarre decision. I was thinking, what have Stockport done before I got here? I thought it was North Ferriby all over again, I'll be honest. And then we played, I don't know how much injury time we played.
It was well over the 4, but anyway, we don't want to talk about the referee. And a great day like today, 13 attempts on goal away from home, 6 corners as well. The stats tell their own story now, don't they?
They do. I think we've been we were outdone by, I thought, last week in terms of results, but we've got to create more chances. I know people are crying out for a centre forward. Everyone wants. You ask anybody, they'll want a centre forward, but it's about being more brave, from other areas of the pitch. And I think when you've got Connolly and O'Hanlon, it gives the fullbacks a little bit more confidence. Not against the younger lads who've played, but the younger lads, they tend automatically to try and look after them. That's the nature. But as I said, we've made a lot of changes. Some of them, basically, that was the only players that we had available to us. But we didn't want to be out the FA Cup, but obviously, particularly with the draw the file got, with no disrespect to Coleshill, but it does give us now 2 weeks to get some players back. Got Jake Kirby injured, Matty Hamilton injured.
How serious are those two?
Matty Hamilton, Jake, we should have them back for 2 weeks' time, but both got one's got a groin, one's got ankle ligaments. Robbo, as you see, is almost there. Obviously, Lamon's band's now up. Carl Ledsham, he's got, I think, one more game, is it?
Yeah.
So, I think once we get everybody on and we get everyone fit, and as I said before, it's Ab's first real 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I think you can see what he can bring if we can, if we can keep him going. But overall, absolutely made up with the performance, and glad that we go into a Sunday with a victory.
Are you pleased to have a week's break now, or having won this one, would you rather be playing next week?
I'm pleased. I'm not pleased because without the FA Cup, that was a big part of what we were trying to do from a financial perspective. Yeah. But I'm pleased because it gives us time to get players fit. It gives us time to get players fit. I've not been off the phone for a week trying to bring players in, trying to get a centre forward that we can. But it's no good bringing the centre forward in if they're not going to be better than what we've got, because we just need another body really. So we're working on that. Gives us a bit of time to work on that as well. But more importantly for me, it's the performance. Again, massive thank you to the supporters. Stayed right behind the team. I think they were angrier than me at the referee's decision, if that's possible. And I must say a big thank you for the money that they've raised. It's easy for me, to behind the Twitter account, but it's greatly appreciated that the fans go to so much trouble. They don't, have only just comes to the football club, and all I'll say to them is, we're working as hard as we can, not just for the short term, for the long term of the football club, and hopefully, we can bring success to the football club.
Well, you brought success today. Well done. Great win.
Thank you.